Heavy Podcast, hosted by Craig Gonzalez.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. Thanks for joining us on this episode. I don't know what you're doing. Is it the evening? Is it the morning? Is it the weekend? Whatever it is, I hope you're having a great fucking day. Obviously, if you listen to my voice, thank you. That's nice. Today's episode is a really cool one. I had an old friend, Christina Diaz, the creator and founder of E-Volved Magazine. If you guys have not seen this yet, I'm sure most of the people locally have. Tattoos and Fine Art. Issue 10 just came out a while ago featuring Crayola, which is just one of the most incredibly fucking talented motherfuckers around. This magazine has everything. Incredible interviews, art, fucking beautiful tattoos, interviews, reviews, everything you want, man. So check out E-Volved Magazine. Christina is also the lady behind the curtain on the Seaside Tattoo Expo that happens out here in Ventura, California. The next one is going to be coming at you in June of 2022, so look out for that. Christina is a mom. She's a journalist. She's a writer. She's a fucking editor, a marketer. She does everything. She's got a million irons in the fire. It's so inspiring to talk to someone that just for the love of art and her passion, she creates this whole entire world. And really for only the pure fact that she loves it. It was really, really awesome to catch up with her. And she's done something really amazing for the Get Heavy listeners. If you go to evolvedmagazine.com and you're interested in purchasing the magazine, enter Get Heavy in the promo code section on checkout, and you will get 40% off. That's right. I said 40 fucking percent. So thank you so much. That will be running all through the month of October. Go ahead and check that out. Support it, buy it, read it, enjoy it. Fucking awesome stuff, man. Also, check out the merchandise, localshop.com/getheavypodcast. We got shirts, we got coffee mugs, we got everything up there. The sweatshirts and shorts are dropping soon. Some winter wear coming at you, so check all that out. High quality shit gets turned around quick, sent straight to your door. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/getheavypodcast. $1 a month gets you in the door and gets you all these episodes 1 week early. There's going to be some cool changes coming up. I'm actually going to be releasing the interviews on Tuesdays now. I'm moving the podcast day to Tuesdays. And I'm going to be doing some solo stuff on Thursdays, just kind of more topical stuff, talking about stuff that's going on in the world, something I'm going to try out. So you're going to get 2 pods a week now. The Patreon will get you the interview, whatever guests I talk to 1 week early and probably a day or 2 early for the topical stuff. So check that out. And also rate, subscribe, review, comment, tell your fucking friends about this podcast. I am constantly just fucking truly grateful for everyone that is listening. This thing's growing. It's slowly growing, but it's growing, man. Every day there's some new listeners, there's some new downloads. Check out the YouTube. It all goes on our YouTube page. Let's get those subscribers up. Hit that notifications bell. Don't mean shit to you, but it means the world to me. It really does help me out. And I will stop promoting now. Enjoy the episode. The hell's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Happy Friday.
Well. I know, right? There you go. So I got the cheap Smart and Final brand.
I've got the LaCroix.
There you go.
Get whatever they have in stock.
Yeah, you got. Sometimes you got to step it up and just go with the name brand shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this your Friday night celebration now? Since you're sober, right?
Yeah. 9 years. 9 years and
That's
a couple.
That's amazing.
Weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it surprises me too.
Does it? You're like, still, huh?
Yeah.
Especially all the stress, man. Mom, 2 kids, the whole deal, man. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is, but it's they complete me,
Yeah.
So
is that something you really believe, or you just tell yourself that not to go nuts?
No, honestly, they kind of saved me. I stopped drinking,
Yeah.
to be a good mom, just to be a good human,
Yeah. It's tough to
So,
be I mean, my mom said something to me a long time ago. It's super easy to be a shitty parent. It's like
yes.
the easiest move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense that years later, as I've always tried my hardest to be a good dad, but it is fucking hard. It's hard to be
Yeah.
a good parent, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
Brutal.
And I agree with what your mama said, that it's easy to be to just ignore, not be present, go do your own thing, like just life goes uninterrupted. And it's like sometimes, I mean, that's kind of what happened in my situation, my own personal situation. Both of my parents just went MIA. I mean, when I was like in diapers, and I was given to my grandmother.
Right.
So I just try to be like everything I wanted and never got.
All right. Yeah. I always set like a pretty low bar for myself. It was like, just be a little bit better than my parents. You know what I mean? And my mom was an awesome mom, single mom, 4 kids, the whole deal, but my dad MIA for many, many years of my life. But what I realized is that I set the bar too low for myself, and I need to be way better than like even what I think I could be. You know what I mean? Because my bars for myself is pretty high,
Yeah.
And especially when you have the instability of being raised, but with a grandmother and all that stuff, it's fucking you're on your own, man. You're just fucking on your own. A lot of us were on our own. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, how's life though? How's life now?
God, I miss a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I miss I haven't gone to like a concert or like a show yet.
You haven't gone out yet since the restrictions?
Well, not like to like a crowded indoor area. No.
Really? Okay.
No. I have some like anxiety. I feel like COVID made my anxiety 10 times like worse than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, I mean, I don't like people much anyways.
Yeah.
So, and I already had like personal space issues way before this. So I mean, it's just like made it all worse.
Yeah. No, it's hard to handle, dude. I mean, I've never lived my life with anxiety, as far as social settings and stuff like that. Like, but dude, it really did change. This whole COVID thing changed the amount of how much I really want to be out doing shit, and it's been kind of nice because it's like, I have a massive family and they're fucking, I'll throw a barbecue or whatever. And it's like, it used to be an all day event, they come over at 11 o'clock, no one leaves till 6. And now it's like, they come over at 11 and everyone's gone by 2 because everyone's like, well, I guess, we'll just go home now, and it's like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, but I'm the same. Like, I'm not at a party you know what I mean? I never stayed to the 3 a.m. thing, but I would stay for a whole entire show. And now I'm like, I'm going to go see that band. And then that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out in like 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
It's been really nice. That for me has been really nice. Just, I don't need to do all this, man. Like,
yeah, I like that it has slowed things down a bit in a way, I think that's something that I struggle with, is just go because it's really easy to do that, and then you just get burnt out like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever, so it's been nice to have sort of balance and not go and just get a break, mentally, from all of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you ever have FOMO, or I mean, do you ever deal with FOMO, like fear of missing out? Like, we always called it FOMO, but I never really had it that much. But you know what I mean? I didn't think I had it until we couldn't do shit,
Yeah.
But then it's really kind of cured it now because there ain't shit going on. You ain't missing anything anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to play a couple shows and that's been really, really good, and thank God.
Probably feels really good now.
No COVID from it or anything like that, but, which is cool because I think most of Ventura, like at least in our group of friends, is vaccinated and they kind of give a shit, you know what I mean? So it's not like you're just dealing with your Bakersfield bunch,
Yeah, definitely.
or anything like that. But yeah, it has been nice.
Are you considered essential with your work?
Yeah, because I do construction, but I'm a teacher now. I actually. I'm out of the field. I don't work in the freeways anymore. I run an apprenticeship program through my union. I work for my union now.
Awesome.
It's been really good. So as being a teacher now, I actually was like in the real group of essential workers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's been
And you
good.
can do it from home?
No, well, we didn't. We always kept going, but we had to do online classes. We switched to online. You know, it was fucking trying to teach someone how to run a bulldozer on Zoom is like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like I was like I had like sandboxes, just like playing with toys. Not really, but you know, it was weird. It was really really weird, man. But I am not 180 years old, and I know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
And so I actually became like very valuable pretty quick because I could like start a Zoom and learn how to fucking do Canvas and Blackboard and all these things like really fast, you know? Yeah. Everyone else is like, there was guys that like had never opened a laptop in their lives, you know, at my work. So
that's awesome though, that you could step up, you know, when they needed you the most, probably.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the punk rock way, man. And you know, I mean, that's you get in somewhere and you make yourself invaluable, and then you fucking chip away at it. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. But what about, so are you, I mean, obviously the magazine's awesome. I mean, it's beautiful. That newest one is that 10th edition, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
that came out.
Man. That's a full-time job in itself, right?
Yes, I do. It's a one-woman show.
Yeah.
It's just a hobby, you know. I still work, I work in marketing. I have a couple of freelance gigs, like long-term, that kind of keep me busy, you know, but this has like been a passion project, and it's just all self-published, you know. I don't get, during the day I have to write about other people's product, and so, you know, when I get to clock out, this is sort of my outlet, and that way I get to write about things that are interesting to me and you know, worthy of like dedicating my free time to, and money and blood and sweat and tears. Yeah.
Right. Cause I mean, it's been, the magazine's been around for a minute, but when you see 10th edition, you go, wow, man, like what is the time between magazines? I know this one came out in the middle of COVID, right? So that's like, how the fuck do you even get the news? I mean, I guess everyone's online, maybe, I don't know. But how long, what is like the process from getting, like, how long is it in between issues and stuff?
I was trying to do like biannual, like twice a year, but then up until 2018, that shifted things because Trump implemented a tax tariff, and we were printed overseas in China, and that like tripled my production costs.
Oh, really?
So that really hurt when he implemented that tax. That really hurt us. So then I tried to get printed in America, and luckily I have been able to find a new printer. It's here based in San Bernardino, but that wasn't always the case. I used other people, and then, you know, quality problems and just different things. But now I'm kind of on a little hiatus because this issue came out during COVID, and it came out when bookstores were closed and you couldn't even go shopping inside. So they literally halted like all print orders, Barnes and Noble. So I mean, I had like double the number. I usually ship them direct straight to the bookstores. So now I'm sitting on all these magazines that I can't get into retail locations at the moment. They just literally kind of halted print orders. So I mean, I'm waiting for COVID to be over before I print anything else, because it's such a huge project, and for it just to be sat there and not like admired, and you know, like usually I'd go to shows, go to events, and bring, you know, magazines, and you know, try to promote. There's no events happening, there's no art shows happening, so it's not the best time to be
a magazine,
promoting a magazine.
Yeah, totally. Well, and then there was the issue, you know, where you know, with all that was happening in the world, with the riot, you know, the protests and all this shit, it's like, you know, we had a record come out in the middle of COVID, and we had decided to push it off a couple times because it was, first of all, we can't do anything anyway, but then we were literally like, okay, like a bunch of white guys with beards like crying for attention on a record while there's actual like important shit going on, you know? It's like you're not gonna get any fucking press at all, you know what I mean? So you're like, fuck, I guess we'll wait for, and then we ended up having to just release it, you know what I mean? Which is fine, but it's a trip, man. I mean, because a lot of it with it in the stores and stuff, I mean, do you do direct like sales, or is it just to retail and that's it?
I do both.
Okay.
I do both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Retail,
Which is the smart way to do that, right?
yeah, I mean, I just want to hit all options. When I had all this extra time at home with COVID, I was strictly print only. Then I'm home where I literally have nothing to do. I clean my house umpteen times. Like,
Yeah,
so what else
totally.
was I going to do? So we put every single issue of the magazine now is available to download.
Right.
So that was a huge undertaking, but I'm really glad because people did want it,
Yeah.
digitally. So it sort of gave us the extra time to do things like that.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been doing. I've basically been trying to build the online content and connect with people. And I've done like 22, 24 interviews the past year, still trying to put it out there. And they're online, but
Yeah.
they'll be in print eventually.
Eventually, yeah. Yeah, it's a
But yeah,
trip because I mean because the digital format, like you sent me a copy of it, and I was like, this is a fucking great way to view something, man. Like, because it is sad that I'm like you. I like a physical book. I like a
yeah,
physical copy
tangible.
of records. I like to thumb through it. I like to
And
look at
smell it.
smell it. The whole deal.
Yeah.
But so much of this world is online, dude, and like
Yeah.
you have to adapt to that, and I thought it was a beautiful way you did it, because it is high quality image. You know what I mean? Like it's really high quality when you thumb through it, you know what I mean, and swipe through it and stuff, and you can zoom in. Whereas like some of the on the actual print, it's like you can see how gorgeous it is, but you can really like zoom in on some shit and really see high end detail, which is like cool. Like it's like a feature you don't really get unless you
Yeah.
see the actual physical art piece live. You know what I mean? Like especially with like Crayola shit, it seems like it's massive, big, huge
Yeah. His
prints,
stuff
right?
like the size of walls.
Yeah, totally. So that you could really get, it gave me more of a real art gallery vibe digitally. It was kind of weird. I didn't know, because I sat there for a fucking solid hour plus, like looking and just really looking at the stuff, and you could zoom in right here and like really get it. It was a cool way to do it. I've never looked at a digital magazine in my entire life. You know what I mean?
Oh man, well thank you for doing that
Yeah.
and for the hour of your time. I
Well,
appreciate that.
it was
It's
yeah.
I will tell you that I struggled with going digital
Yeah.
because again, I'm old school and I just believed like to really appreciate like artwork, at least, how many hours it takes for someone to create these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And then I study them and I write about them and I want to know, what they were thinking and feeling. It's like this really in-depth process. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I, in my mind, putting it on a digital format was like, disrespecting the process or like
Yeah.
denigrating it sort of in some way. And it's like nowadays I'm reading that museum attendance is down and art
Mm-hmm.
show attendance pre-COVID
Right.
is down because everyone is just like
Yeah.
result settling to look at an online exhibit and no one's going out anymore. And then COVID hit and it's just completely turned the art community upside down and finding other ways to connect with their audience, but it's honestly it's just it's a part of the medium. It's just where we're headed now with like NFTs
Right.
and those selling. Like digital is just a part of the culture. We got to adapt.
Yeah. I mean, and a part of me feels like the old head in me is like that the physical will never die. But in the
Yeah.
last couple of years, I've really seriously considered the fact that like physical books might be a thing of the past. Like physical music might be a fucking thing of the past. Like, and it's a weird subject to even wrap my head around because it is so fucking foreign to me. But my kids will read a book on their phone just as fine as they'll read it in a physical form. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you experience this with your kids and the
Yeah.
addiction to digital, and technology and shit. But it's not
They're on
90% of what
Google
we.
Classroom and like they have to
Right.
turn their homework in online. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't have any books.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But meanwhile, I send my kids back to middle school and they come home with fucking stacks of books and they
Yeah.
haven't used them one time because they've been on their computers. It's like, why are we handing these out?
Yeah.
My kids' backpacks are 55 pounds each.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're in the fucking military running around here, and you don't even look at it. You don't even open. I'm like, have you opened them yet? They're all, no, not at all. I'm like, you got to bring them to class every day. They're all, yep. I'm like, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry for your back, man. It's It's brutal.
But there's also, back to people sort of switching from digital to print. Print is still, I don't want to say making a comeback, but it's still holding its value, because now it seems like it's this sort of, limited edition, only 500 printed, same thing with vinyl or things like that. So I do think that like sort of that tangible item still holds like value. And
I think it does. I think it'll go in waves. I think you're right. I mean, I think because what I've found is my kids they'll discover something that, I mean, I'm like, yeah, dude, that's like they'll discover something and I'm like, it's been around for 1,000 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, look at this real telephone. I'm all, yeah. It's like, yeah, dude, that's what ours had a 50-foot cord on it so you could run through the house while you're on it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I think there will come waves where shit becomes outdated, but then retro again. You know what I mean? All that stuff. Like my daughter listens to music. She was listening to fucking Duran Duran and like, you know what I mean? Like just weird shit. And you're like, where the fuck or David Bowie? We're a music house, but she'll pull out something in a YouTube playlist, and I'm like, how the fuck did you hear that song? It's a trip, man.
My teenager he's always has his earbuds in. They're like a part of his like anatomy now.
Right.
And I was like, what are you listening to? I'm always asking him, what are you listening to? And he's like, Marilyn Manson. I was like, oh, really? It's like, you don't know who he is, Mom. Oh,
I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of those moments. Rob Zombie,
it's so funny. Well, and then they look at you like, yeah, you don't know about this? I knew about it 20 years ago. Like, seriously, dude. Like,
and I was like, here, check out this collection. I have like full on giant CD books still.
Oh yeah.
I showed him. He's like, what? And they're like signed and shit. And I was like, yeah, you don't even want to know what happened that night. Like,
no, I almost fucked Marilyn Manson. Which thank God shit. You didn't.
No.
Holy shit, that fool straight got canceled, huh?
Yeah, good thing though.
Man, it's fucking.
I'm glad. I commend all the women who can step up and speak their truth and be able to just like, not take that fucking shit anymore.
Totally, man. You see it like, I mean, I'm stoked. This shouldn't. For far too long, it's been this thing where it just shit's tolerated, and what I mean. And I'm glad to see that.
Ignored.
Yeah, there is the other side where it's like, okay, guys, like he asked you out, he didn't fucking try to kiss you in a corner. You know what I mean? There is that other side that drops where you're like, okay, so a look is like rape now. This is fucking a little much, guys. But
like,
I think,
well, you did date him for 2 years,
right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And you also married him, and you took half of his money. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a trip. I mean, that's that cancel culture stuff or the Me Too stuff is, I overall a great fucking thing. I mean, I grew up in a house of women. Like, saw domestic violence, I saw abuse, I've seen every fucking ounce of that, and it's something that immediately pisses me off. People disrespecting women. Men, like that. You know what I mean? I that's one of the rare instances I will punch you in the fucking face for like without talking. You know what I mean? When I see shit like that, and it's happened before. But I'm so glad that it is gone that way. For the most part, I think it's overall good. But it makes you as a man, you start thinking back. You're like, I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, not that I've ever done anything sketchy, but. Fuck, man, all it takes is one person to say one crazy thing about you, and you've lost everything you've ever built.
Well, nowadays, you just got to be safe. You just got to be aware of like literally your words, your body language, like and
also like just don't be a piece of shit. Like don't be a piece of shit.
That's why I can't leave the house, because I'll end up arrested.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, lately it's just been we moved, we're neighbors.
I know, I heard we're neighbors now. We're right around the corner
there.
I know, you should have come over. We could do it live. Bring the fucking kids, they'll hang out.
I love that. And here I'm thinking, damn, another Blue Lives Matter day. I'm like, and like the whole neighborhood is like a little.
You know what, that's what happens though. It's a nice neighborhood.
Yes,
it really is like
nice and quiet. And,
it's very quiet. I don't know, where were you on? Were you on?
I'm on Ashland.
Oh yeah, but you were on the West End before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
big
was
difference.
behind Bell Arts.
Oh, good God. Yeah, such a big
Mhm.
difference, dude.
Huge. I
Yeah.
was like the first like 3-4 nights, I was like, what the fuck? It's too fucking quiet.
Right. It's
Like I
weird,
couldn't
man.
even, it was like I couldn't sleep
Mhm.
because it was too quiet, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's weird because we lived in Lancaster for a few years
Yeah.
and we lived right next to the hospital and it was 24 hours a fucking day ambulances going by or lights or something. And then we moved to Ojai when we moved back and it was
Yes, I remember Ojai.
it took me 6 months to like be able to get used to the silence at night. You know, I was tripping out. And then we moved over here. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm good with this, you know.
Yeah,
But
it's peaceful, and
yeah.
I mean, we're like, I just want like it'd be cool to have some younger neighbors, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It is what it is, man. But
Yeah.
I did want to ask, like, the magazine is such a fucking cool thing. I think it's pretty unique because I haven't seen many things that do like tattoos and fine art, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is something I know we've known each other for many years. We worked together at Salzer's. You knew Rosie way before I did, obviously, but you know, you've always been like such a tattoo advocate and such an art advocate and music and all these other things. Like, where did you get the idea to just blend these together, or was it something that you'd thought about for a long time, or did it pop in your head one day? How did it work? Because you wrote for magazines before this, right?
Yes. I was at right after college, I got a job at Paisano Publications
Mm-hmm.
in Agora. They publish Easy Riders, and that was like their,
That's my favorite magazine
bread and
ever, by
butter.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the same owner was like, hey, what do bikers are covered in tattoos. So then he created Tattoo Magazine in like 1975.
Right.
So I got a job there. I applied there like a dozen times,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a job there literally like just everyone's little like office bitch, making coffee and filing and answering phones. And within like a year and a half, I worked my way up, and I was the editor of Tattoo Savage,
Mm-hmm.
and which was like the freaks, versus like Tattoo Magazine was like the girl next door.
Right. Yeah, and
So
they had like body art and shit. Like they got into a bunch of wild shit. Tattoo Savage did.
yes,
Remember
and
the body modification days? Remember that
yep,
shit?
yep.
Fucking weird, dude. I worked with a guy with
The
no
tongue
nipples.
splitting and the
Yeah,
implants and
it's like,
scarification and
yeah.
like just all the weird shit. I'm not,
Split
and then
tongues.
the
Yeah.
suspensions
Yeah.
and the everything.
All this, it was like, what was it? The early 2000s? Like people lost their fucking minds with that stuff, dude.
Yeah, it was the early 2000s.
Remember there was that guy in Ventura. He worked at Salzer's for a minute. He had no nipples.
Yes,
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
he scalpeled them off. Yeah,
Scalped his own nipples off.
yeah.
He was like trying to talk to me about it. I'm all gross, dude.
He,
Fucking, I don't want to talk to you. Like,
yeah, he did his tongue. I think he was an apprentice, but just yeah.
probably. But still,
But
what the fuck? People were losing their minds back then, dude.
it was like when piercings sort of just, there's these trends, and
Yeah.
piercings were huge. It was like, what can you pierce? What can you not pierce? Let's find out.
Yeah, totally. Apparently
But
nothing is the answer.
yeah,
You can pierce everything.
the magazine thrived on that sort of like taboo, bizarre lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I saw the way that the culture was being sort of capitalized on, but then, in my opinion, sort of ridiculed at the same time.
Right. Yes.
So, and here I was fresh out of graduate school. I had my master's, and I was sort of, the way I felt like I was representing the culture was like doing it a disservice.
Mm.
So I just wanted to see tattoos, tattoo artists, collectors like myself portrayed in sort of a better spotlight
Mhm.
versus like the trashy freak next door.
Right.
And so, and women especially were really sexualized in the tattoo culture and tattoo
Oh
magazines,
yeah.
and still are. Women tattoo artists aren't taken as serious as male tattoo artists. You kind of have to like prove yourself. just it's it's a thing. It's the tattoo community is very male dominated, male oriented.
Right.
So, and all of the magazines that were on newsstands, tattoos for women, tattoos for men, tattoo taboo, they were all owned and run by men.
Mm-hmm.
So they were really like sexualizing women. I wanted to take that idea and the formula and just put, women with brains and beauty in the magazine and put talented tattoo artists in the magazine. But it wasn't about, you know, what they look like and their style and the lowrider they were in. It was about what they could do on canvas and on skin.
Right.
It was just painting the culture in like a different light.
Yeah. So that's what brought you to do it. I mean, because tattoos have become fine art at this point. Like it's really weird because when you started getting them, when I started getting them, it was taboo. Yeah. I graduated high school with a fucking with a sleeve, actually. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And when it was looked at like very badly, you know what I mean? Like people were tripping out. But now over the years, tattoo has become, I mean, especially with the work that you see coming out of some of these fucking studios is unreal. It makes me want to like clear my arms and start again. You know what I mean? And you got old tattoos. I got old tattoos. Yeah. I've generally covered up 40% of my old shit at this point, with other stuff. But I'm like, I see there is like a real blend of like pure fine art and craftsmanship in tattooing now. And it's like on a level, I don't even know where it could go from there. Yeah. Like, has it capped out? Like, what else can you do? It's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Like, we
go through waves. I think right now the realism and those sort of tattoos, as you can get it as portrait like as possible, and where you're like, whoa, is that on someone's skin or is that like painting? Yeah. But I think that right now that's like kind of the trend. Mm-hmm. And because of reality TV, it's really made that genre like especially popular.
Oh yeah. The tattoo. That's the tattoo show with Navarro, Ink, whatever.
The one on TV that started it all. Yeah, Inked.
Yeah. Inked. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Which I'll watch it every once in a while because there's some fucking incredible artists, dude.
I like the tattoo like cover up shows where it's like they got like a donkey, drinking a Dr. Pepper jerking off or something like weird shit.
Yeah, I got to get on there because I have Patrick Swayze as a centaur tattooed on me and I'm not stoked on it.
Was that from the 86?
Yeah, it's a scamager.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I got a real hard
memory though.
Yeah, but I mean, is it? I also have Remember 9/11 tattooed on me, so that's not great either.
I don't have any cover-ups.
You don't? Oh man. Well, you had decent shit when you were, you know what I mean? You at least found that. I went to like junkies in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? When I was younger. Yeah, but it's the artwork that's coming out of tattooers it blends the line of fine art. I mean, especially not even the realism, like the neo-traditional shit that you see people doing and the colors and it's just like so next level. I mean, I could see how some like traditional tattooers are not, about it, but
well, it's really all about technique because a traditional tattooer is going to be using an electric machine. Mm-hmm. Someone doing a badass, vibrant, colorful, new school piece could be using an air compressed machine.
Yeah.
And it's like almost weightless. So it implements the skin in, at a different sort of like weight and levity.
Right.
So it just affects the overall like results of
is that those rotary ones? Is that what those are? Air compress? Are there air?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because
those air compressor, you have to have like a generator. It's like a MacBook, compared to like a Dell, and so the way it implements ink into the skin is just a whole different ballgame.
Right.
I've gotten a couple of tattoos with the air compressor and it heals different. It feels like a kitten, like just little tickles. It doesn't even feel like a normal tattoo. I almost fell asleep. It was fantastic.
What? That's awesome.
Like a little cat scratch.
Yeah. So you're not stuck in the past. Obviously you're not, but when I get tattoos by an old school fucking tattooer and he's just Mr. fucking traditional, and I love him to death.
Heavy-handed.
Not heavy-handed, really light-handed. Jojo Ackerman,
Oh, Jojo, yeah.
one of my
he's
favorite
fantastic.
humans on earth. You know what I mean? It's all the technique in the world, but you know, he is a traditional motherfucker, dude, and he's like, I love that he hates on everything. You know?
He's his shop. We feature
10,000
10,000
Waves.
Waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we featured 10,000 Waves a couple issues ago. They're fantastic. We went out there and did a photo shoot, and they're all super talented.
Yeah, he's an old school fucking hardcore punk. I mean, just through and through, man. And we get in there and we just start talking shit, dude.
Yeah,
You know,
he's the one you got to talk to. He's fantastic. He's a great.
He's awesome. Yeah, I've had him on the pod. Yeah, I love that man. But so when it comes into dealing with like artwork, right? Like painters and artists, I mean, I see the way that you approach the interviews and stuff, and I like that I'm actually getting to interview you now rather than you having an interview. I'm like terrified to email you because I'm a real moron and my grammar's terrible and I'm kind of dyslexic. So I shoot an email and I'm all, I gotta read it like 6 times, you know, because I literally miss shit like all the time. It's my biggest thing. I feel like a moron, but
I do too, especially if I've been smoking. Don't let me near like anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the artwork and stuff, like what is it about art that speaks to you? Is it a certain style, or is it just the artist himself? I mean, what is it that makes you want to approach someone to put them in your magazine? Like,
great question. That's a good question. I would say that when I look at art, I'm interested in the storytelling. Every piece is telling a story, regardless of whether it's a new school image, a contemporary artist, a piece of graffiti, a sculpture. I love the storytelling behind art, and just basically where someone's imagination can take them. You know, to me, it's fascinating. That's when I interview people, I want to know who, what, when, where, why. How did you come up with this piece? You know, because to me, I'm just fascinated that like you can just literally create something from nothing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I'm not an artist.
You understand through music.
Music, I can do it and I can wrap my head around it, but painting, drawing, it's so fucking far above me. I just don't think I have it. My daughter is an incredible artist, you know what I mean? But music, and it is creating something out of nothing, you know, but so you're interested in the storytelling. How often do you find the story you've made up in your head is completely different than the story they have?
Oh, I gave up on that years
Did you?
ago.
Yeah.
Because artists are such unique beings.
Right.
It's usually not even close to what you thought.
Totally,
you know?
Man.
I mean, Crayola, his paintings are each individual, like, you know, novels.
Right. It's like a universe he makes for himself.
Every character has a specific like element to the painting and a story behind why that character is positioned that way in that painting there. Like
it's that methodical.
Yes.
God, that's nuts, dude.
And they each have a name and a backstory. Like, it's fascinating to me.
Are they continuing themes? Like, do they show up in other paintings and stuff?
Yeah, he has like a series, and he takes certain characters and they'll sort of pop up and through his work. But lots of artists do that. Like Banksy's done that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Which I'm very excited. I'm going to that Banksy exhibit. That's
awesome.
Gonna be really cool. We're taking the kids and everything. It's gonna be fucking.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. But it's the story behind it. Obviously, the art has to be great. You know what I mean? You don't want to fucking. But are you interested in like cartooning? Because it really is a lot of like fine art stuff. But do you find you have a broad range of interests as far as it goes, or do you really?
Think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I have a pretty like avant-garde, you know, just sort of taste a little bit of everything. I mean, I went to the Guggenheim and like the exhibit was like white squares in a row.
That's where I check.
And so, you know, the abstract stuff, I don't, if I want to somewhat connect with it in like an emotional way, and I want to feel a painting, whether it's sadness or happiness or sex or, you know, whatever. Yeah. So, you know, I do have my sort of limits, but I think if sort of something maybe not speak to me on the wall, but then I
Right.
could talk to the artist and they sort of go on to this, sort of meaning or
Yeah.
whatever they were trying to convey. And I mean, that's the thing, it's subjective.
It
So
is
it's
subjective,
really,
yeah. Because I don't, the abstract shit, it doesn't do much for me. You know what I mean? Like if you show me a Basquiat, I'm like, cool, dude. Like it doesn't
yeah,
do shit for me. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because like as an incredible and moving as art is, it's
yeah.
so full of bullshit at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? And I wanted to ask, like, how many times have you like seen a piece and be like, wow, it's amazing. You meet the artist and you're like, real shithead, dude, not fucking doing it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying to name people, but it does happen, dude.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
oh, you're a bullshit artist. Great, cool.
Yeah. That's the thing. I won't work with any assholes.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
There's not room for it anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
totally.
Or I think in the art community you meet a lot of people who you see their artwork and then you get to know like a little bit about them and you're like, whoa. And then it takes the art to like a different level,
Right.
or good or bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, the less you know, the better sometimes in that sense.
It is true, man.
The same goes for artists. Like when I was at Savage, they would send me to like interview what was Sepultura, Max Calavera. He had a side band. What was it called? Soulfly.
Oh, Soulfly, yes. Yeah.
I went to go interview them and we used to do interviews where we'd interview them and just ask about their tattoos and do up close shots and stories and who did it and what does this mean and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that guy was a fucking asshole. And he didn't want us to talk to him. We like got there early. He was late. He was like drinking. He has like 2 teeth.
Right. Yeah.
He was a mess and he was just mean. So it didn't make me want to give him like a 10-page feature and put him on.
Fuck no.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that definitely can happen where like someone's vibe just like kills your, interest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I've met it. We're being in music. And there's a reason I spend a lot of time out of LA. Not one part of me wanted to be there. Not saying that there's bad people in LA, but there are some fucking people that are intolerably, like so full of themselves. Like you're like, are you being real? Is this like a character? Like you really think like you are this person
in the art community and for music. I mean, I can see that for sure.
Oh, definitely. But you meet people and it's just you're a bullshit artist and you've been tricking people for a minute, but there's no longevity in that anymore, right? You can make your rocks being a fucking artist who uses your own blood for art. Like that kind of shit. It's like, okay, fine. But your art fucking sucks, dude, and you look pale. Like you look so
that's where
pale.
Those are the artists that need like a shtick,
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not good artists.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Their art is like, 3 swipes of blood on a paper and there's a book written on why, and you're like, no, dude, not having it.
Yeah.
Not having it, man.
That's the thing. Nowadays, everybody thinks they're an artist. So you have to be like legitimately talented.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Well, and I deal, I don't know if that's a younger generation thing. You know what I mean? Do you find it younger generation? Everyone thinks they're an artist or
Oh, I think nowadays, like Instagram and a lot of those visual-based platforms, I think it feeds into people's ego. So they need like a gimmick. They need something to make them stand out. And they're like, oh, I'm really good at fucking, taking leaves and hodgepodge and then put some resin on, and then all of a sudden you have.
But also my ass is in the frame too. So.
Exactly.
Like, they don't like your art, man.
Let me do some resin shots and some booty shorts, and then I'm an artist, and but
yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to deal with because I was always, you have to grind and be good. You have to be good at what you do. You have to fucking be good, but we literally teach our children like you are special. You are good. You know what I mean? And I struggle really hard trying not to crush my children's dreams. You know what I mean? But but sometimes it's like, hey man, this isn't for you, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it could be, but yeah, it's like I have such a hard time with the people that live their life as, oh, well, I anything I do is going to be good because my mom told me I'm a special little fucking flake. little snowflake, you know, and you're like,
sometimes that I think that's all ego.
it has to be,
And
right?
sometimes you got to put that shit in check.
Well, it's lack of confidence, right?
Yeah.
For sure, right? I mean, you know, not only my kids, I deal with it with adults too, you know. I mean, I have guys at my work that come in and tell me, "Oh, I'm the premier blah blah blah. I've been doing this for 20 years." And I'm like, "You've been doing it wrong for 20 years, dude. Congratulations." Fuck. It's like, "Wow, how'd you get away with that for so long?" You know?
You're
Like
really bad at this. You're
Yeah.
really good at being bad at it.
But then they want a pat on the back every day and to be told they're fucking, "Oh, good job, bro." You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
when you really get into it and doing the work and learning a skill and learning an art or a craft, you have to fucking, you know, I was telling my boy the other day, like, he wants to skateboard. He wants to learn how to ollie. And he's like, "How many times do I have to do this?" I said, minimum 10,000.
Yeah.
You know, like minimum 10,000 times. You know what I mean? It goes, like, I'm a firm believer in like the Japanese culture of 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours it takes you to get okay efficient at something. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a master, but their apprenticeship programs are 10,000 hours for anything. It doesn't matter what the fuck it's sweeping floors, dude. You know what I mean? And I love that. Like, I love that because it is really fucking true. And if you break it down, 5 years, like, that's what 10,000 hours is. You know, if you spend 5 years doing something, and to explain that to a kid or someone that's trying to learn a skill, whether it be drawing or music or whatever, and you tell them like, "Hey man, five fucking years minimum to be okay." You know, you might have the guys that have the talent, the actual natural talent for it, and they can maybe circumvent, but still, it's still the same, you know?
Yep. Everything takes time, practice. You got to master that shit.
So I know that you are, you know, you love writing, you love tattoos and art. Do you have artistic skills, do you, Phil? Like, can you draw? Do you paint? What do you do? Do you have any of that? Nothing?
Just writer. I'm a writer. That's it.
That is your fulfillment.
Love language, using language. Yeah. I mean, no, I mean, I curate art shows, you know, I've put on way too many. And I mean, I love just sort of creative energy when just bringing the community together through art. But no, I don't. I have painted, and I paint, you know, in my house and like things like that. But I'm not like, you know, making no fucking process videos and like trying to like be like an artist in that way. You know, I would rather speak through my words and, you know, remain behind the green curtain. I'm good with that.
Yeah. So you don't, but I mean, that it is cool because your art shows have always been great. I mean, the tattoo convention, I mean, you know, we got to talk about that a little bit, right? You know, I mean, are you planning on doing it again? I know COVID willing, right? I mean, the last one was fucking awesome, you know?
The show is coming back, comeback Seaside. We're moving it. I'm moving it up to June 2022. So June 10th, 11th, and 12th. It'll be at the fairgrounds, and the tattoo community has been hit especially hard.
Right.
During the pandemic, they didn't work for like 9-10 months last year, and they're like already health, you know, sanitary. They have like great sanitation.
It's the most sterile environment ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's such bullshit.
It is.
And now they're like all of their, you know, supplies and gloves and medical, but everything's like quadrupled in cost. Like the tattoo community's been hit hard, but everyone.
When I had JoJo on, it was while 10,000 Waves was shut down, and we were talking about what a devastation it was, because like a real tattoo studio is the most sanitary. They're trained in blood-borne pathogens, and you know, I mean, they're the most trained fucking humans like you could ever possibly get. And he'd have health inspectors coming in. He's asked them questions, and they're like, and he's like, "So why can't we open?" They're like, you know, and no one had a fucking answer. You know what I mean? And I don't want to blow him up, but you know, he did what he had to fucking do to survive. You know what I mean? And they all did, and congratulations, you know. But it is brutal what happened to those guys. The first to close, last to open, man.
Yep. I've been in touch with a handful of people, and you know, a lot of good friends are tattoo artists, and they made do by actually like making artwork and, you know, commissions, and they still hustled. And I'm super like impressed with how the community did sort of remain vigilant, and do, like, they did some petitions and things like that. But I think everyone's like stoked to come back. Like,
Absolutely.
everyone's been super supportive, and I didn't want to change the date, and everyone's like, no, let's have a show, let's move it up, everyone's ready. I think they're more ready than I am, but
And is it really literally, I mean, I know you have a couple people that help, but it's mostly you that puts the Seaside Tattoo Convention on, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's me. I have a great
insane.
assistant. Her name's Nicole. She's fantastic. She helps me, like, just keep me really organized and in check. She's fantastic. I love her. She's like my extra set of arms. So, but if I probably I wouldn't do as good of a job without her.
But for that whole convention to be a 2-person team, I mean, I know there's always more people to it, but that come in and help. But I mean, fuck, man, because I mean, even organizing a show is a nightmare. You know what I mean? A one-night show for 6 hours. It's like to wrangle all the cats, especially with tattooers. You know what I mean? Who, are hit or miss as far as fucking their responses.
They're not easy to wrangle.
Like wrangling a bunch of cats, like that
they're not easy. They're not organized people, but I am. It just works out because, again, I love the community, and I feel like things like this are just like, again, ways to promote the tattoo community and the art community in a positive, family friendly, just oriented environment. Safe, and just something. There's not a lot of cool, tattoo shows around town.
No, not around here.
Like down to LA, or you got to go up north, so this sort of SoCal Central Coast area.
And you're right on the beach.
It's a huge community.
You're on the fucking beach. It couldn't get any better.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I'm really out of touch. Obviously, in the last 10 years, tattoos in Ventura specifically, shops and studios have blown up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything. Who do you have a pulse on? Some great artists that are here, you know what I mean, or anything like that? Yeah, I mean, who is? I mean, I know Howie. Obviously, Howie's doing incredible work right now.
Yeah,
but what are some of the premier shops that you've seen? Not that any of them are bad, but what have you seen as far as the pulse goes?
I think everyone at Inkfatuation and Wainimi is fantastic. Manuel's done a handful of pieces on me, and Kat. The guys you mentioned, Howie, he's at Phil Garcia's shop. He's another fantastic artist. White Lotus is an all-female shop. I believe they do have a couple guys now, but maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah.
They're all great female artists. Black Penny is in the heart of downtown. An all great team, I think we have a lot of really great talented artists.
We do. And it's, I mean, with the HAs moving out and the whole, the firebombing incident, all that stuff, it really, as terrifying as it was, it really opened up the fucking world because it was on lock for years, dude. You couldn't get a fucking piece.
We had 13 shops.
Really?
Downtown.
That's amazing.
Off of Main. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can't go wrong. We have a huge tattoo community out here.
Right.
So if I don't put it on, someone's going to put it on. I might as well put it on.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Make sure, and you do it right. You know what I mean? So that's rad. Do you have any artists that you're stoked on that are coming in? I mean, I'm sure you're stoked on everyone. Any names where you're like, I've been trying to get this motherfucker for a minute?
Not at the moment. Honestly, I just sealed the deal with the date.
Oh, okay. So you're in the very early stages.
Yes, very early stages.
Nice.
I only literally a week.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. So I caught you real early. Yeah. Too early for questions about this.
Yeah.
But it will be happening in June of 22.
It's happening in June. The date is locked down.
That's awesome, man. I wanted to ask, who is a tattoo artist that you would absolutely drop everything to get a piece by? If you could fly wherever you wanted to go to do it. Do you have a specific or a couple artists in mind where you'd be like, fuck, dude?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of real estate left, so I'm kind of saving space. But John Dix in Barcelona, he's fantastic. I tried to get tattooed when I was out there, and he had his daughter, and we just couldn't make it happen. Angelique Hodenkamp. She's in Amsterdam. She's phenomenal. I have one piece by her. I would love to have more.
Okay.
Jeff Gogwe, he's in Grants Pass. He's been in Evolved. His tattoos look like just paintings on skin. He's phenomenal. Yeah, there's a handful of like artists in different countries, you know.
Yeah.
I want to like just collect, you know.
Totally. Yeah, because when that real estate starts to get low, you're like, this is gonna have to really be safe or something.
I can't remember her name. I want to say her name is Bloom, but she's in Paris and she's phenomenal. So
That's
things
amazing.
like that, where it's like it's just double win. I get to travel and get tattooed. And,
totally. Yeah. That's it. Well, you got to figure it out. What about artists as far as the magazine? Is there a massive couple names that you've been chasing that you'd love to get?
You know, Crayola was like...
It's a big one, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I had been wanting to interview him for years.
Right.
I went to a couple of his book signings and like, you know, art openings, and I like, you know, look at him like a fangirl, and I could study his paintings, or just everything he does is fantastic. But I messaged him, you know, scared, you know, like he's not going to know who I am. He's never hear of this magazine. I'm not going to reply. You know, I like totally, you know, put myself down and like negative Nelly. And sure enough, he was like the nicest guy, the sweetest guy. We had a great interview.
That's awesome.
It was just like, whoa.
Did you do it on the phone, or how'd you do it? On the phone. Okay. Yeah. And then you record it? Is that how you do it?
I do it recording.
Yeah.
Mike awesome. Giant, he was in Evolved. He's the same situation where I followed him for like a dozen years, and I had all of his books, and I go up to these people and I cannot believe they say yes. I mean, it's shocking.
Well, that's one of the lessons I learned a long time ago. Like, there's no harm in asking.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, even with this podcast, like I've gotten some awesome fucking people that I never in a million years would have thought I'd be able to talk to, but all it took was one fucking email, you know, and hitting someone in the right way, you know what I mean? And just, there's no, and that, I think that's like what a lot of like, we grew up and listening to punk rock and heavy metal and stuff. And it's like, and you do shit yourself. You set it up. You're like, okay, well, this isn't happening. I'm going to make it happen. And there's no fucking harm in trying. There's no harm in asking. The only thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I tried, and maybe it'll happen later, but you know, it's just such a fucking testament that the fact that you just have to have the courage to fucking ask. You know what I mean? Because you'd be shocked at how many people, especially during the pandemic, aren't doing shit. You know, like, or even in real life. You know, artists don't do a lot. You know, they're at home fucking around. You know.
When you want to stay connected, you want to, you know, stay relevant, and just, you know, it's a part of sort of what I think creatives sort of need. You know. We kind of vibe off each other in that way. Yeah,
it's amazing. Well, man, thanks so much for coming on the pod. I'll give you some. Please let us know, where can we get the magazine? What else you got going on? You would throw out some Instagram handles. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Evolved. At the moment, you can just pick it up on my website, on Amazon, evolvedmagazine.com. Also everything, Instagram, Facebook. It's available digitally. The tattoo show, Seaside Tattoo Show.com. But yeah, thank you for having me and asking me. I was like, you know, a little nervous because I was, you know, doing some digging. I was like, where are all the ladies at?
I know.
And I was like, we gotta step it up.
I know. I was just telling my wife the other day, like, I literally, you know, and it's not out of, I don't know, maybe I'm a sexist prick. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, subconsciously. But I literally was looking through them all. Hardly any chicks, dude. You know what I mean?
I was like, okay.
Yeah. But I've been thinking about talking to you for a while, but I know with the kids, dude, it's like, we've had to reschedule this 4 times.
Oh,
and I almost had to reschedule today on you. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm fucking doing it. You know?
I'm sorry. It's so
no, it's all good. When it comes to life and kids, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't have any. I'm just happy that you showed up. I mean, I'm happy that we got to chat for a fucking hour. Not, you know, with me not drunk babbling at you at an art show. You know what I mean? So that's nice, you know?
Oh, yes. Tell Rosie hi. Give her a big hug for me. And thank you again for your time. I appreciate your support always. I appreciate
Absolutely. Well, that yeah, I'll tell her hi, and please bring the kids over, and we'll fucking make some food and hang out.
Oh
It'll
man,
be
I would
awesome.
love that.
All right.
Seriously.
Cool. I will talk to you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.